mess, 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 mess. Everybody, I'm about to watch The Ultimatum, first season, first episode. I've heard there is much mess to be expected, and I am here for it. There's nothing like, working your brain during the day, thinking about hard things to do your job, or to, be showing up emotionally for your children, to have to interact appropriately with other human beings. There's nothing like doing all of that and then being able to veg out to mindless television. So I am going to give my thoughts and opinions on the first episode of the first season of The Ultimatum. And I just want to put out there that this is reality TV. Everything is played up for entertainment value. And I am totally here for it and going to lean into all of it. So let's do it.
I do believe that we're at a stage in our relationship, and I'm at a stage in my life where I can answer that question for us.
But you're not ready to answer the question, or else you would have already answered it.
Okay, that's fair. But, okay.
I want what I want, and that's a ring.
At the end of this, I will have an answer for you, one way or another.
We just had to go on a television show for me to deliver that answer to you.
I don't really believe in there only being one person for everybody. Do I think that there's a possibility that I could be happy with somebody else? Yes. I think it's not.
Because there is a possibility that you could be happy with somebody else, because there are billions of people on this earth. So it's true.
Well, hello everybody. You're here because someone in your relationship has issued an ultimatum.
You're the one I wanna be with.
So let's just have a quick little chat about ultimatums. If, when people ask the question, do ultimatums work? The answer to that is depending on what your goals are. I mean, yes, there are plenty of people who marry others because they were given an ultimatum. And there are plenty of people who made that choice and lived happily ever after, and many others who made that choice and did not live happily ever after. The question is, what do you want for your relationship? Marriage or otherwise, what do you want the quality of the interactions between the two people to be? What do you want the dynamic to feel like between two people, between two people and their children and their families and their friends? That's really the question. You can give someone an ultimatum and they could choose to marry you and hate you for the rest of your lives. That's an option. So sure, there are times when an ultimatum gets somebody to do what you want them to do. And then you have to think about what the quality of the result is.
I want a ring on this finger. You think you're ready for the step because you're the one that issued the ultimatum, right?
I do, yeah, I do. And I think he is too. He just doesn't know.
I think it'd be best to just be able to get rid of some debt that I have in my past in order to have a great life for her. That's ultimately my reason, but she doesn't understand that. I don't want to think about if Shanique will leave me if I decide not to marry her right now. She feels like she's ready for marriage, and I've honestly turned that down more times than not because I know that I'm not, and I know that honestly, I don't think she is. Marriage in her mind is just a huge wedding, just super flashy. She's a spender, and I feel like that kind of has to be broken before you bring kids in, before you want to have a marriage and join.
He's nervous. He is nervous because I think with Shanique, her spending habits concern him. He wants to have his finances and money in order before he makes his commitment, which is fair and understandable. And then he's also watching her out here and he's like, I don't know, this legally binding contract might concern me on the financial aspect, which, by the way, finances are the number one reason, or conflict around finances is the primary reason for divorce and conflict in relationships. So it's not to be taken lightly.
In a life with somebody who is very financially conscious.
Let's be honest, fear of commitment almost always boils down to the exact same question. Is there someone else out there who might be a better fit?
This
Uh-oh, Nick Lachey coming in with the reflective questioning.
is a once in a lifetime opportunity.
Being surrounded by other men and women who have been issued ultimatums, there's some value here. I'm going to get the opportunity to talk to other couples in a similar situation. I'm also going to discover if I am really connecting with someone. In order to give Alexis, an answer to the ultimatum, I need to answer those questions. I'm not ready to propose to Alexis at this moment. But if I met the perfect person, I would be ready to be engaged tomorrow.
Psychologists agree, and
So Alexis, that's her name. I'm not gonna remember anybody's name, at least not in the first episode. But I think Alexis. So you are aware that she's not the ideal person for you, and so you're gonna come on television to potentially let her know that. Again, I mean, I'll watch.
We took a break. We both saw one other person, and we realized that if we got out of our own way, we could be amazing together. But it took seeing somebody else and me realizing I don't mind the things that I thought bugged me or were holding me back. I don't mind all that. Like, the bigger picture is how I feel about this person and their values of wanting to be with me and knowing everything about me.
I think we got perspective.
I disagree. Love alone is not enough for a healthy, happy, thriving, lifelong, committed relationship. Meaning, like, so she was saying, and she also said, so someone who, it mattered how she felt about the person, which is very important, and that you had the same values, which is very, very important. But then there are also just practical aspects of your habits and behaviors and how you live your lives, and looking at that on a lifelong, long-term scale. And that matters a lot as well, because even if you love someone, it does not mean that you're going to want to show up next to them and communicate with them well every day, and which is normal, because none of us are like that at every given moment with every human in our lives. But what I mean is loving them alone, just only loving them, is not going to get you through the logistics of life that cause stress and strain on relationships, whether it's having children or the finances or something's broken in the house or you have some sort of tragedy. All of these things, love is a foundation. It's the glue that kind of is there even when you don't like the person, even even when you don't like the person in any given moment, because I want to be clear, you may love someone constantly and not like them at various moments. That is the nature of human relationships. But so love is important because it is a foundational, glue for things. But then also what wears away at that glue or at that thread are the stressors of day-to-day life, when so-and-so, keeps the house a mess and it's something that happens to really bother you. Not everyone is that bothered by a mess, so that wouldn't be a big deal on one person's list. And when so-and-so, speaks to your kids in a certain way and you guys really can't come to an agreement on how to parent the kids, or it can be anything, money, how someone is spending, or, not saving or not making enough money or whatever. The specific topics depend on each individual and what's important to them, but only, like, loving someone is not the only factor that is going to create a healthy, happy, thriving, lifelong commitment.
During this entire experience, ask the important questions and have the most difficult conversations that people should have prior to getting married.
Many of you
Oh my gosh, can't stress that one enough. When couples come in for couples counseling, one of the primary things that I bring up to them, especially with premarital counseling, is let's have the important conversations before you make this step. There is a book that I like to recommend to couples called The Hard Questions by Susan Piver, Piver. And it's a little book of a bunch of questions, and it is so useful, honestly, for even individuals. It's good to ask yourself these questions so that you understand where you stand on these various areas of finances, parenting, sex, housing, key areas of people's lives, and then discuss it as a couple so that you can see where you're on the same page and where you're not. So many couples issues, by the time people come into couples counseling, what I have come to find, so many of the issues don't come down to a pure right or wrong, an objective, somebody did something right, somebody did something wrong. By all means, this happens. But overall, it is different preferences and expectations between couples that really bring up the issues. And a lot of these expectations went unsaid or unknown because they did not ask the right questions early on, and they did not have the important conversations early on. And a lot of that is because oftentimes there are expectations that we hold that we don't even realize the other person doesn't hold because it just hasn't come up and nobody's thought to bring it up until we get to a point where we realize we're butting heads. The other part of it, though, and a huge part of this, is that people avoid tough conversations, which is understandable emotionally why we do this, because it's uncomfortable and nobody wants to feel uncomfortable. But logically, it makes absolutely no sense to commit to a life with someone who you can't have difficult conversations with. Why would you do that? You are literally saying we're going to build a life together, which means it's going to come with all sorts of tragedies and unexpected things. I mean, in a lifetime together, there are going to be people in your life who pass away. How do we navigate that together? Then there's the potential for things like, unexpected financial situations, housing stuff. If you're parenting kids, all sorts of things can come up with kids. And so if you cannot talk about the tough stuff, it is highly unlikely that you're going to have the healthiest relationship moving through your lives together, because then it becomes very hard to deal with some of the things that you need to deal with as a couple. So it's very, very important to ask yourselves the hard questions and to talk about them and to work through them before making these commitments.
People have given an ultimatum before, and it doesn't look anything like this. But, this is very real. If you want a family, and you want marriage, and you want to build with someone, and you're ready for that, and they're not, I think it is okay to put your foot down and not settle and say, this is something that I need. I want a life.
Absolutely. Everybody has the right to want what they want, and to also understand that the person that you're with may not want the same things, and it is not for you to try to push them into that. And that's, I think, the hard part. No one is wrong for wanting what they want. But it's not okay, or I guess you could be wrong for expecting other people to fall into the box that you want them to fall into. This is where as people are dating, getting to know each other, they are sorting and sifting to understand one another and understand how they work together or how they don't, and then to sometimes ultimately make the decision that it's not going to work, and that's okay.
I'm hoping with this experience I can date around, get better clarity on what you want from another perspective, so I can give you everything you need. Or do I want to lose you? No. Do I love you?
Wait, he's gonna date around to help get perspective on what she wants, or date around to help get perspective on what he wants? Because it sounds like she's been telling you what she wants, so I'm not sure how you get to understand what she wants by dating other people to hear their opinions on what she wants?
I know for a fact I love you more than anything, but there are some things that we can't get past, like the kid thing.
I believe in compromise in a relationship. I don't believe in sacrifice. And I don't want to think of children as a sacrifice. I want to think of it as like...
But if you don't want to have kids, and I'm saying I do want to have kids, then, okay, we're
Then why you're on the show? Because this is one that gets me all the time. Generally speaking, the choice to have children or not have children are high value items on anyone's list, and you do not compromise on those. So high value items are what I think of as deal breakers, and you do not compromise on your deal breakers. You can compromise on your preferences, to I think Lauren's point, she mentioned the whole idea of not sacrificing. I mean, I do think there are definitely small sacrifices that make sense in a relationship, and maybe even bigger ones. But this idea of small sacrifices would be like compromising on certain preferences you may have, and those can vary for everyone, so they're subjective. There aren't any objective preferences. But let's just say you would really like a partner who likes to read as much as you do, but you happen to meet someone who doesn't enjoy reading so much, but that's a low value item on your list, so you can compromise on that. Children usually do not fall into that category. It is usually very important to people, the idea of having children or not having children. Definitely people can be at points in their lives where they are like, they're not sure, so they are open to, like, you know, depends on what my partner wants, and so then they may meet someone, and even in that relationship, that's where they start sorting out how important it is or is not for them to have kids. But generally speaking, you don't compromise on the kid conversation, because that is a deal breaker. That is a high value item, and somebody gets left unhappy in that situation. If one person wants kids and the other does not, or if one person wants 5 kids and the other wants 1, like, somebody's not going to be happy in this situation. But let's see what they have to say.
Compromising and we're going to have a half kid?
No,
like, you know what I mean? Like, you're saying that we shouldn't have sacrifices, though.
No, I'm
saying
what I'm trying to
relationships
say.
should.
You don't let me freaking talk. My name is Lauren, and my boyfriend Nathan is giving me an ultimatum. I don't want children. I feel kind of awkward interacting with children sometimes. I don't know, it's something that I've never really felt needed to be a part of my life. I think that ultimately you should be with somebody who shares similar wants and needs in life as you. I don't think that anybody should have to sacrifice anything for another person. And Nathan definitely knows where I stand when it comes to how I feel about children. If we can't come to that agreement, then ultimately we will have to break up. I definitely want to get clarity from this. Like, that's the point. Like, I'm here to find clarity for our relationship and figure out, like, hey, is this something that we can move past, or is this something like this probably just isn't right? And
will one of us decide differently about this children situation between now and the next, I guess, 6 weeks?
You need to find someone.
Cheers to our last night together.
Cheers to our last night together.
My name is Ray, and I'm giving my boyfriend Zay an ultimatum. We have dated through college, and I have graduated, and I have everything planned out in my life, my next steps, my next career move. Just, isn't that kind of how it goes, you know? College, then proposal, then babies, then honeymoon in Cancun. I can't even eat, I'm so nervous.
What are you nervous for?
I can't picture myself with anybody else besides you. Zay has the full package with me because I stay in the gym, I have a degree, I cook, I clean, and I know how to fuck. I don't think he's gonna find that with these other girls. Can I say fuck?
We came here as a couple, but at the end of the day, it's about figuring out what's best for us as individual people. You know what I'm saying?
That is the point. I'm glad he said that, because I was going to stop and fill that part in. It's about figuring out what is best for each individual. As a couple, you merge in all sorts of ways, but which makes it very easy to forget that you are 2 individual human beings coming together to build a life together. And so ultimately, there's no happy couple without 2 happy individuals. And I'm using happy generally speaking. 2 content individuals, 2 people who feel like they're living their best lives, however you want to word it. But a happy couple, or a healthy, thriving couple, consists of 2 people who as individuals feel like they're thriving the ways that they need to and want to thrive. So it is very important that they are assessing what feels best to them as individuals, and not so much, oh, well, you know, I rather, you know, what will my partner be happy with, or what will make them feel good or feel better. That's not going to work.
If Zay's not ready to take that next step and start our family and our careers and move into this next part of our lives, I'll have to move on.
I would be sad to start over, but I'm not scared to start over. I think that there is someone for everyone, and I think that a lot of people would be happy to be with me.
I want to.
Sad to start over, but not scared to start over. And it's totally fine to be scared to start over and to still do it anyway. If you come to find that the current situation that you're in is really not one that is ideal for you for the rest of your life. So the sadness is the understandable emotional part, and any fear around it is an understandable emotional part. But then there's also the logical aspect of realizing that for whatever reasons, the current relationship is not one that makes sense for the rest of your life. It's an important distinction to make.
Make it work. I mean, when it comes to you, I can talk about you forever and tell you exactly how I feel. And when it's you, with you, it's just like super closed off. You know?
Because I'm afraid of being hurt.
But that is,
Open
I mean,
to other people.
okay, and if you're emotional and you feel some type of way, this is what I'm here for. That's why I'm your man, right? For you, when you're emotional, you want to talk to somebody, you can talk to me. That's what I'm here for. Tomorrow you're gonna be dating other guys, and they're like, "Oh, how do you feel? Are you gonna spill to them, or are you just gonna be set off to everybody else too?"
No, I guess that's something that I have to work on. I guess that's why we're here, because we have stuff that we need to work on.
Yes, you guys are there because you disagree on some things, but you probably want to go to couples counseling if you have some things to work on, or individual therapy if you have some individual things to work on. Just a thought.
Can you explain why you love Zay and why you think he's somebody that you coming into this want to marry?
I think, I don't know, can we skip that question and come back to it, or is that the last one? I'm stressed out that you're gonna end up liking somebody else.
And
I'm curious as to whether her hesitation is because she, again, struggles to emotionally, verbalize her emotions and express herself, or if she's not exactly sure why she wants to be with this man, and instead it's about her plan that she has for her life of graduating, getting engaged, having kids, which is a reasonable and understandable thing to do, have a plan for your life. But also we can fall into this place of just having an idea of what we want, and then just finding a person to fit into those pegs. Again, this whole thing of having your expectations and desires, which are totally your right to have, but then expecting to just take a person and fit them into those holes. So I just wonder, and I guess we'll find out, if she just doesn't really know why she wants to be with this particular person, or if it's just really hard for her to express that, because she clearly has this plan and this trajectory for her life, and now it kind of feels like she may just be, she's found a guy who she likes enough and wants to just fit him into these different places, into these different roles that she already has planned out.
I'm asking you to talk to me about how you feel, and you can't say anything, but you're stressed out about me liking somebody else. You gotta let me know when that makes sense to you. I mean, that don't make sense to me. I feel like I gave you the ultimatum. Like for real, I'm serious. I want you to be emotional. I want you to pour out.
Yeah, it comes off a little possessive on her part because, and we'll see, but because it's like she's just concerned about him being taken away from her, but isn't able to open up and offer him some of the emotional connection that he needs in the relationship. So she's not able to do that, but also doesn't want him to go anywhere. So just like, stay with me. I don't want anyone else to take you. And I'm also not going to be able to help meet some of your expectations, your emotional expectations in this relationship.
Last night together for
I can show you better than I can tell you. I'm just gonna leave it at that.
I have a soft spot in my heart for him.
That's how I'm feeling right now. So.
All right. I mean, it is crazy to me that she gave me an ultimatum and she can't tell me, how she feels about me.
Because you're just supposed to fit into her plan, sir. That's it.
I can't believe this is
Like, not sleeping together the next 4 weeks, basically.
I know.
Going from living with no one to then living with a guy for the first time that's not you will be definitely a weird change.
Yes, it will. I'm also really nervous, like living with a girl and, you know.
I'm confident that you'll pick someone that like hopefully gets you to where you need to be by the end of this. Hunter wants to move in, I want to get engaged. We just can't agree. I'm getting less out of moving in. I'm gonna cook for you, I'm gonna clean for you, I'm gonna do your laundry, and you get all of me. And so my thought is, if you're serious about a relationship, then put a ring on my finger. I love you.
Hard to say goodbye.
The moving in, not moving in, before being engaged or before being married debate. Again, there's no objective answer here. It is about two people's preferences, desires, and expectations. There's something to be said for really getting a feel of how two people function in the same space consistently, in a shared space that they both have kind of equal stake in. So there's something to be said about being able to assess that before making further commitment. But then also there's something to be said for someone who's like, they don't want to sign a lease with somebody who, they're not sure is committed to them in that way. Though I would say that if two people live together and come to realize that it's not working out, it would be easier to just break the lease without an engagement or a marriage than to, end things while also, being engaged and married. But I guess an engagement is kind of the in-between piece where there's no legal things, there's no legal documents signed or anything like that. There's a ring which can be sold. And so maybe that's the good in between. So it's just things for each person to think about, how they feel, what they're trying to assess and when, pretty much.
So much.
Because I guess a thought is that if someone, is the thought, I don't know, I think Alexis is her name, is a thought that if she's engaged to him before they move in, and then they move in and let's say it doesn't work out, is the thought that like, okay, well, there's a ring on this finger and so you're held hostage, or these sort of things kind of come up. So it's this idea of, even if we're engaged, even if we've made that next step of commitment, are we not going to part ways if we come to determine that we're really not working well together? Or do we just push through because we're engaged? And I want to say the answer to that question oftentimes for a lot of couples is yes, they just push through because they're already this far in. And all of the investment, the emotional investment, financial investment, your friends and family, all the reasons, maybe there's children, you're living together. So all of these very practical things of life keep people on a trajectory that may not actually be the best based on how they're actually engaging with one another. This happens all too often. And so that can be, a concern here as well on his part, or on the part of the person who would rather move in first before making that next step of commitment. But ultimately, it's up to each individual and what suits them best.
I know I need to be ready at the end of this. But that's not something that I can just push myself into. And it's not something I'm going to pretend to do if I can't. It's really scary because I have to either be there or you won't be there. The only thing scarier than losing you right now would be to marry you.
Wait, she just said the only thing scarier than losing you right now would be to marry your ass. Boy, this is gonna be interesting.
I need that from you. I need you to be ready.
It's just like really hard to see how that's gonna happen for me.
If you're not ready by the end of this, it's time for me to take that next step with someone who's ready for it. Either that being you, if you're ready, or if that ends up being somebody else.
These are just not the circumstances under which I would want someone to commit to me. No, thank you.
To Madeline?
So far from everything I've seen, everyone's in their early to late 20s. And that obviously has a lot to do, just like from the standpoint of like producers and how they think about making these shows, but that has a lot to do with the success of this show, because if you were dealing with some 30-something-year-olds who were out here trying to make these, there would be no show. It would be like, check. What? No. Okay. Well, we're done. Bye. Like, there would be no show. So, like, we do need to take into account the, like, developmental stages and life phases that these people are in, to be going back and forth like this on a whole television show and literally saying things to each other like, I want kids, you don't. I don't know what to do. Or whatever he just said to her about, oh my gosh, I just lost it. But whatever I commented on before, that whole scenario between the two of them going back, like, it's, what are we doing here? Why are we here? So there would be less of a show if the people were over 30 or so, let me just say.
My name's A.
A.
That's my legal name.
Zay and A, okay, I hear you. Like, who is April? Like,
April is a firecracker. I make jokes all the time, like, I'm gonna be a stay-home mom. I can't wait to be a stay-home mom.
I want to have kids later on, like when I'm ready, and that's why financial stability is.
Oh God, here we go again. Let me tell y'all something. This bitch is financially stable, okay? I paid for these on my own. I don't need your wallet. I can take care of my own ass.
I want to continue my career and get a little bit more established. I'm not at a place yet where I'm satisfied.
I need to focus on myself as far as like financially.
You have the same bullshit ass excuse as every other guy, so I'm just gonna have to.
April wants a broke man, okay? Like, she got this. You don't need to come with the coins, as far as she's concerned.
Say next.
What are those? Are those like?
They're like
type of-
Tahitian pearls.
That's badass. They look really cool.
Yeah.
Is there like a story behind it?
No, I just got at the beach.
Okay, I love that. Hey,
In
that's a great
Florida.
story.
Being single for the first time in a really long time and dating 5 potential new partners is extremely nerve-wracking. But at the same time, I want to walk out of here engaged to someone that is ready to get married. And I hope that it's with Hunter, but I'm definitely open to the possibility that I might find someone that checks all the boxes and is ready. So I want to grab people's attention, and I want the guys to see my cute body.
What's most important for you to find in a partner?
Sex life is very important for me.
What is a good sex drive to you?
Fucking like, what, 2 or 3 times a day?
I don't think that is what I came here to explore.
Why are you looking at me like that?
Do you have a wild side?
Of course I have a wild
Yeah.
side. I like sci-fi books.
Yeah. No. Physical connection is hard.
Like, how's everything with you?
Yeah.
And Colby.
Honestly, he's an awesome guy.
Yeah.
He annoys me. Like,
Gotcha.
I get annoyed. You don't have to say something every 5 seconds. Shut up and let me think
Yeah.
for a moment. He's just always putting on a show. It's funny because it's like the things you love about something can also be the things you end up hating. Like
Yes.
you're so bothered by. 'Cause
Her,
it's like,
Shanique's friends call her like the next Michelle Obama. She's always like talking, like
yeah.
always has an opinion. You know, Shanique is a very emotional person.
Yeah.
When it comes down to the decisions she
Randall and her, they want quiet partners. Shut up. Don't talk.
I think Colby is definitely scared to admit that he's excited for this because he wants to be the I'm 100% here for my woman kind of guy. But there is no way that Colby is not excited about getting to experience and hang out with another woman for 3 weeks. There's no way.
Hey, can I come chat?
Hey, what's up?
Because there's no way that she's not excited to be able to hang out with other guys for a few weeks. A little projection here, maybe.
Kind of want to know, what are you looking to get out of your potential partner?
Finances are like so important to solidify. I have a certain
Unlike with April, see the preferences, desires, expectations, they're different.
lifestyle that I want to live. Marriage for me is a financial decision and an emotional decision. If Hunter wasn't...
Let's talk about for a minute, maybe unpopular opinion. Well, unpopular opinion to verbalize, but not unpopular opinion to have and to want. Just put it out there. For her, marriage is both a financial and an emotional decision. And that is more than okay. But if you are somebody who, so like if she's dating a guy who feels offended or threatened by that at all, or just doesn't have that value, then he's not the one for her, and that's okay. Nobody is right or wrong. But I think it is so important to be this honest and this clear about what it is that you're looking for, because it helps to just vet people, and it helps to sort and sift. It's so important.
Making enough money that was reasonable, I would walk away. I think it's the first time I've said that out loud. I don't think.
Yep, oftentimes the case, but it really shouldn't be that revolutionary or shocking. It just shouldn't. People have their desires and needs in life, and should become clear about them for themselves, because it can help avoid a lot of pain and heartache of continuing to give time and energy to the wrong people, and them investing their time and energy in you. And also, we should, after we identify for ourselves what it is we really want, we should be able to say it to other people.
I don't think I'm the man that can fulfill all of her needs she's looking for.
And I grew up comfortable, but
Sure.
you know, I want more than comfortable. I want like good.
So whatever man's out there, good luck.
I don't know her name, the woman in the orange swimsuit, but she's also MLS. So between her and the guy who I said I have a soft spot for, I'm rooting for them as of right now. We'll see. The tides can definitely change, but so far, I'm rooting for them.
So, what is going on with your current relationship that made you guys want to come on to here? Or whose idea was it?
It's mine.
No way, it was my idea too.
I know I'm ready. When I met Madeline, it was like, I just knew. Like, I knew immediately.
Also love April so far. She's funny. And do we see a match because she want a broke bitch? I'm kidding. Do we see a match because she's not focused on money, and Colby, I think his name is, just made the whole point that he can't meet the financial standards of orange swimsuit. So, let's see. And they both were the people who are giving the ultimatums.
And
I don't know the sequence of events really with the editing and stuff, but you know, the more they're sipping, the more comfortable they become.
But the spark itself that I'm looking for hasn't happened yet, and I'm waiting for that spark to come. That was the reaction I got with Madeline, and I haven't felt that yet. Will I get it? I'm gonna give it everything I can. All right, maybe we should rock.
Is it what?
Is it moving?
Yeah, it like rocks.
Oh, jeez.
How are you?
Doing good? Does this work? Just jump in like that? Keeping it dry. I should have took this off before I sit down.
Colby was the first person I think that I was initially drawn to. I think that he's very attractive. I finally found another guy who's issuing the ultimatum.
You're the only girl who hasn't given the ultimatum. How do you feel about that?
I know. Everyone here, I feel like for the most part, is like very open to having children. I'm the black sheep.
As a man?
Yeah.
I understand. I'm not the one pushing something out of me, you know? Like, I've got to be...
I feel like if the roles were reversed, I'd have such an easier time with
Would you?
it.
So is that... So it's not so much just raising the kid, it's just having the kid.
Okay, I will say
Tell
it's
me,
like...
I got to know, what is
It's 75% like the parenting thing, but 25% of it I feel like is like being pregnant and...
I can see where scariness of having children can be, you know? I can definitely see it and kind of relate to it. But I think that's why you do it with someone that you love. Someone that will help you through those times. I'm not in this alone. The kid breaks its arm, what do we do? Or if that kid gets
figure it out together.
Very ill, you figure it out together. And I think that's what definitely makes me overcome that fear the most.
Yeah. Nathan works a lot. Nathan is a business owner now. So are you going to have time?
It completely makes sense. Like,
yeah, I really just need to like have those deep conversations and like think about what parenting looks like one day, and you know, you have to like figure out a parenting style that's going to work for you, and mom and dad have to be on the same level of communication, and
You have to be able to see it through someone else's eyes, especially your partner's eyes, who you're working with, your teammate, you know? That's like the most important thing you could possibly do.
Colby is definitely somebody that I find attractive. He has a really sensitive, emotional side to him, and it feels like he's listening and he's hearing what I have to say, and he wants to see my side of the story, and it feels really nice. This is what I need. I need someone who's sweet. I need someone who's willing to like be thoughtful.
That's what you're looking for in a relationship.
Yes.
Like,
I like that.
I'm a family man, simple as that. And so you think it's something that you could possibly overcome in the future?
Maybe, yeah. Ultimately, that's why I'm here. I don't.
So yeah, Lauren is nervous about what the division of labor would be between her and Nathan, the guy who she's currently with, around like parenting, because of his business and career. It doesn't seem that he will be the most available, and for her, it is important that her partner takes on a little bit more equal, which really would be more equitable division of labor when it comes to parenting. And so just a quick note about equality versus equity in a relationship. We often say that we want things to be equal, which is a 50-50 split, which is rarely the case in life, that things are 50-50 down the middle. But more so what we're actually looking for in a relationship is for things to be equitable. So that means that if I do 60% of the child care and you do 40%, it feels fair based on the other things going on in our lives. But it is for each individual to determine for themselves how much of a role they want to play and how much of a role they want their partner to play in various aspects of living together or of building a life together. Parenting, cleaning the house, bringing in the money, I mean, you name it. Transportation to and from, handling doctor's appointments, every single thing, fixing things around the house, every single thing that is involved in a life. We all have our perspectives or our needs and desires around how much of that we share and where the split is with our partner. So for Lauren, she's looking for more involvement in the parenting piece from her partner than she feels that she will likely get from Nathan. So Colby is looking like a good choice for her right now, potentially, because he's saying that he is willing to do more of that parenting piece.
I don't think I would have come here if I was a hard no.
She wants to have kids. I can tell she wants to have kids. But Nate works too much. She mentioned that a couple times, and she's scared that she's gonna have to be the only one raising the kid. I feel like I'm a guy who can comfort those feelings she's having and hold her hand as she goes through them.
April's feeling Colby, but Colby's feeling Lauren. Let's watch.
We have that in common as well.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
I'm still worried about being awkward on the dates because I haven't been on a date in so long.
I know, me too. And you're the most comfortable person I've talked to so far.
Really?
It's very weird to be dating other women. My last date was 4 or 5 years ago, and I definitely love April. And it's very scary to have.
Your last date shouldn't have been 4 or 5 years ago if you're in a relationship, because you should keep on dating. You should keep on going on dates. Please don't stop going on dates. Please date your partner. Date, 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 and more date. Keep dating. Please date.
I feel like this first dating session was practice round, and I've got a lot of practice in. I've dated 5 of y'all, and tonight I'm excited to get to know these guys a little deeper and find out who is husband material. We're on a mission, girl. I need to weed out who is not worth wasting my time and find out who I am having those connections with.
Absolutely, April. Yes, vet, weed out, find out who to give your time and energy to. This is what dating is about. This is why you date. This is why you go out with people, talk to people, see people in different environments, see people around different people to see how they interact and maneuver and how that works for you and how you work for them when it comes to these things, which is why it's so important to not skip dating.
I am on a mission.
What guy has most of y'all's attention right now?
Oh God. I would say I would say Colby.
All right.
I have been in a relationship for 2.5 years and haven't been in the dating scene for a while, but I do have my eye on Colby. And to know the girls here like him, I'm definitely feeling like the pressure is on. I'm ready to drink.
Oh, take a drink. Okay. All of them drinking?
Randall.
Randall? Okay.
Oh my God, so honest, I love it.
I have not.
So the women who are taking the lead to say who they're interested in are in some ways getting the advantage because they're kind of staking their claim, which puts, and we'll see, maybe somebody's going to mix it up, but it puts the other women who might have interest in that same guy at a disadvantage, and they're going to drink because now them revealing that they're interested in that guy after somebody else has staked their claim, creates some competition, such as what Lauren did after the other girl said that she was interested in Colby. So let's see who the alpha females in the group are and who's going to be stepping up and who's going to be like sitting back. It's going to get real juicy after this, I can see.
Just me and you.
Hey,
I've been waiting to talk to you one-on-one all night.
All right. Well, join me.
How are you?
Doing good?
Cheers.
Yeah, cheers. You doing all right? You holding up? Getting your mingle on?
Yeah, it's been fun. That game was like super fun. We need to do more like games.
I love that. I'm all about the games.
Really?
Yeah. But I think that icebreaker definitely helped me understand a little bit more.
Yeah.
I hope you're not into games around dating, Colby.
Especially knowing who thought what about who they were most interested in and
Yeah.
who they weren't.
What'd you think about my answer?
It surprised me.
Really?
Yeah, it surprised me. Yeah, we had a good discussion. I don't think I would see a future with you in marriage.
It's really hard to
The sharp knife of rejection.
like go from what we had today to like
But I can't see a future.
girl, you want too much money.
I didn't get that internal feeling.
Thought our date went well. Clearly it was all lip service. Bullshit. And you just nexted me as if that was even an option.
This is what I mean by people trying to fit other humans into their box. Now, to be fair, I don't think she has a clear read or understanding on where Colby, how Colby feels about like the money thing. So there's that. Like, I think because he was not as open with her as she was with him about her financial desires. But ultimately, like, he's, making the right step where if he sees that he's not going to, he doesn't have the same values around money as she does, or is not going to meet her standards around money, and he's not going to put himself through the stress of it. All right, keep it moving.
Okay.
So, how you feeling about today after everything?
Yeah, I mean, I'm feeling good. How are you feeling?
Feeling good. I was like, holy shit, we have a lot in common.
know.
Like everything, like
Literally.
to the T.
Everything that you were saying, I was like, oh, they found my twin.
I was like, this is the girl version of me.
Yeah,
Like, I was like, me and April have a lot in common, but holy shit. Like, there's a few things we don't, and you checked off every single one. So
Yeah, I wasn't expecting for that to
Expecting it, yeah.
happen. So yeah, it's just interesting seeing how everything is going, and like you can kind of like think you know, and then you don't really know. So,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you gave the ultimatum, right?
Yes, I did.
So you feel a little bit better about this experience or no? Is it what you wanted or
I
no?
don't even know what I wanted going into this. I think.
Because I can't read you at all
Really?
whatsoever. I'm like,
No.
does she want him? Does she wanna?
I just want to be happy. That's what I really, really.
Inquiring minds want to know, Ray, because do you know what about him is appealing to you? I'm still waiting to find out.
If I really like think about it, that's all I want. Obviously, I
Trying to be open to everything.
Yeah, I'm
Right,
trying.
okay.
I'm trying. It's a process, trying to catch on. How about you? Do you feel like you're opened up?
At first, to be honest, I didn't come to be open. I'm not the one who gave the ultimatum, you know what I mean?
Right,
So if she
right.
dragged me on, there's something going on, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? So I'm embracing this a little bit more. The further I get into this, I'm like, okay, well, we can see, like, I literally to every I can't say that enough, but like everything we talked about, I was like, yep,
okay.
same,
Yep.
same,
Checking
same,
my boxes.
same.
Yeah.
I hear Jake laughing, and I just is like, okay, what the hell could possibly be so funny?
Kidding.
It's nerve-wracking to feel that, Jake's also single, and to see him dressed up all nice, and I've never seen him dressed this nice before. Yeah, I'm a little bit jealous.
That is a problem. Why haven't you seen your partner? This is the one where I think you said he hadn't been on a date in like 4 years. So I guess you guys have been together about 4 years or so. Whatever, even if it's half of that time. Why have you not seen your partner dressed up this nice and it being something that you're interested in? Like, stop doing this, people. Don't get into the relationship and give up.
This is weird. It's
Yeah.
scary.
It's
but
a little
weird.
scary.
A little
It's
scary.
like it makes me a little bit scared, but I'm just
Well,
kind
it
of.
makes me kind of feel bad. You know what I mean? Because I was with this other relationship for the last, and I'm like,
I know.
Ray, she's someone that checks off every single box. We connect on every single level. It's a little scary how comfortable we are with each other. She is the one that gave the ultimatum, and she does want to get married right away. I'm myself am not ready to marry April right now, but maybe I can change for the right person. What's the next one?
So, if I was April, I'd be big mad too. He's dressing all up for other people. You haven't even seen him in a suit jacket and his gold chain. And now he's talking about possibly changing his desires for marriage for another person.
Slide on over.
But yeah, it's cool.
How's everybody?
Can we squeeze in with y'all?
I'm excited to get into the rest of the episodes because I am here for the mess. Maybe next time I'll have a little wine, some popcorn, because it's about to go down. April, she gave those daggers. If her eyes could harm someone, whew, they would have been done for. All right, let's see what else the ultimatum has to offer us, because it's looking like the mess is going to be so good.
Thanks for watching, and don't forget to click the link to join my email list. See you soon.